during a ceremony at the Yad Vashem Holocaust Memorial Site in Jerusalem. And with me now is Eve Kugler, who survived the Holocaust. Born in Germany, her family managed to escape to France, and she and her sister were evacuated to the United States in 1941. Her parents survived, and the family was reunited in New York in 1946. You're very welcome, Eve. Also, I'm joined by Scott Saunders, founder of March of the Living UK, a charity which seeks to further Holocaust education for university students and young adults. And Scott, let me come to you first. Thank you very much for joining us, and tell us more about March of the Living UK and how you're marking this day as the pandemic, of course, continues.
Thank you very much. Yes, so March of the Living is a charity that takes hundreds of students and young adults from the UK. It joins an international body in Auschwitz and marches from Auschwitz to Birkenau, which is a 3-kilometre walk, every year on this day. Obviously, the last couple of years, we haven't been able to do that because of the pandemic. So it's so important that we feel that the survivors' stories need to get told. Obviously, the survivors often come with us and tell the stories in that place. But with the pandemic, we just felt that it was really important that we just continue the work and continue to get the message out as much as possible. So we began this program where we would actually get some celebrities to talk to the survivors. And that way we would be able to broaden the message, which is such an important message to tell.
Yeah, a really good idea. And Eve, let me bring you in, because you have been chatting with the world snooker champion, Ronnie OSullivan, and telling him your story. So what did you say to him?
I told him of what had happened to me living under the Nazis, living in France, where we were desperately hungry, where we were bombed. I told him how we got to America. He was so interested in everything. He kept asking me questions. At one point, I had to actually tell him what the Nazis did, the cruelty, how they beat people, how they murdered people. He hadn't realized how dreadful what was being done to the Jews, what it was really like. And he wanted to know everything and was very interested in the program of the March of the Living, and indicated that if possible, he would come to Poland with us after the pandemic. I hope that will happen.
So he obviously learned a lot from that experience of talking to you. And Scott, has that been a common theme with the celebrities that you have paired up with survivors of the Holocaust, that they have learned so much that they wouldn't have done if they'd been reading about it, compared to actually talking to a survivor?
I think when you really sit and talk to a survivor, you have the opportunity to discuss, to ask questions, which become much more personal. We always say that 6 million Jews were murdered, but each single person tells a specific story, has a specific story, and so the celebrities who were, Ronnie OSullivan, as you said, and Matt Lucas, Robert Peston, Baroness Karen Brady, and A.L. Booker, were all absolutely fascinated by sitting, talking to these people. And for them, I think that it was an eye-opener. It was a learning experience that really cannot be replicated by a book, or cannot even be replicated by a film. In a movie, it's the personal experience of sitting and talking to somebody that really comes across as that so important. That's why we really do this work, and we will continue to do this.
And Eve, how will you be remembering the Holocaust today? What are your thoughts on this day?
I remember what happened to me. I also remember my family, particularly because on Holocaust Memorial Day, we are in Auschwitz, and my beloved grandfather, a number of aunts, uncles, and cousins were murdered during the Holocaust. And I think of them and of the other Jewish people who are no longer with us. And it's so important that we remember them and that we fight so that this does not happen again. People have to learn that the Holocaust and what happened to the Jewish people, it just should not happen again. People need to learn to live together and with understanding, with hope for the future.
A really important message. And Scott, where can people see these conversations that have been taking place? Are we able to do that?
Yes, you can certainly see all the interviews. If you go to the website, which is marchoftheliving.org.uk, they're all on there. I urge everybody to do this because really it's a lesson for everybody that there should be no hatred for anybody, and we must learn to live together with respect for everybody.
Scott, thank you very much. Scott Saunders, founder of March of the Living UK, and Eve Kugler, Holocaust survivor. Thank you so much for talking to us as well, Eve.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The health of Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny is deteriorating as he keeps up his hunger strike in prison. His lawyers say he's now losing sensation in his hands and is coughing while still refusing food. Mr. Navalny is serving 2.5 years on embezzlement charges in a prison colony in the town of Pokrov, 100 kilometers.